I was skinny little 18-year-old coming up against 30-year-old big massive centre-halves who literally on a day were just thinking, right, we've got one here.
Boot him up in the air.
We'll just kick him. Kind of got a buzz out of that, getting kicked, getting back up.
When I left the military, I ended up doing something silly and obviously going to prison. How you doing?
Are you right?
Good to have you here, man. Come sit down. How's things?
Yeah, not too bad.
How's
Yourself?
the family?
It's good.
Get enough sleep?
Bigger.
Bigger. How many you got now?
5.
5 kids. Wow. How old? What's the range?
14 to newborn.
Jamie, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
When I got the list, your name popped out. I met you at the Millies a couple of years ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I wanted to chew your ear off there because we've got a lot in common. You know, you've got that dogged determination, you've got that self-belief about you. You started your career quite late for a footballer and you've got to the top of your game. You've got to that elite level, and that's what I really want to dig into. And mainly about mindset, about the type of mindset it takes to get to where you need to be and to get to where you are today. Self-belief. You seem to have tons of that. Where does that come from?
I think it's just natural, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Just
It's
naturally.
Yeah, it's not
confident.
something like I've always dug into. I mean, especially when I was playing non-league, I was really just playing to enjoy, just have a laugh with a group of mates, basically, and just that enjoyment. I always thought when I'm enjoying myself, I always play my best. So just being able to do that every week, and obviously you still get to see your mates. And non-league, it's different because you'd play a game and then go to the pub together after, have a few drinks and a laugh, and that's all I was doing, just enjoying it, and it just kept going step by step. And luckily, every dressing room I went into was roughly the same throughout my non-league era. So
How long ago was that long non-league era?
when it first started, I was 18, so that's 14 years ago. I think it lasted 7 years. I was in non-league force, working obviously all week, and then games on a Saturday, or if it were a Tuesday night game, work then straight to a game.
What work were you doing?
I was in a factory. I was making carbon fibre splints for people with drop foot disability, which is where they can't naturally spring their toes up to walk. So we were making a splint that attached to a shin pad. They'd have it fitted on, and it used to spring the toes up so that they could walk naturally. It was good knowing that you was helping someone.
Yeah, got you.
There was a reason behind it. It wasn't just, oh yeah, I'm just doing this because I need the money. It was, yeah, you were getting paid, but you knew full well that it was going to someone who really needed it.
And take me back to your days at Sheffield Wednesday, because they let you go at the age of 16, didn't they? And that's how you got into non-league, is that right?
Yeah, no, it was one of them things. I was there from 11 years old, I think I signed, and you stay there that long, you naturally think that's all that's gonna happen. You're gonna play football, and to have it took away from you like that it's kind of hard.
What was going through your mind when that got taken away from you at the age of 16?
Right, you're just like, what am I going to do now, basically? Because I was adamant that was the route I was going to take. So started letting obviously school slip up. weren't really doing my schoolwork or anything. So to have that took away from you then, and obviously you've got nothing to fall back on, it real downer.
I talk about that dogged determination. What kept you going to those football matches? You know, non-league, from going from Sheffield Wednesday to figuring it out, and then going every week to these non-league football matches. Did you think in your mind, in your head, that you would eventually make it back up to where you wanted to be? Did you have a sort of vision of playing at that level again?
No, I didn't think it'd ever happen, if I'm being honest. I stopped playing for a bit, and luckily one of the lads who I were at Sheffield Wednesday with, he got released at the same time and just said, why don't you just come play Sunday League to start with him and his mates. So I was like, do you know what, yeah, why not? Gets me back into it, see if I enjoy it. And I think it was just that enjoyment after that did keep me going. And I think as I started taking the next step and the next step and the next step, that's when I realised again that this is what I really wanted, and luckily for me, that's exactly what's happened.
Do you think the non-league football toughened you up?
Oh,
because you don't
100%.
take any nonsense, you don't take no prisoners on the pitch, you're quite, you've got that dogged attitude that FU attitude, you know what I mean, where you just get on with things. Do you think Sunday League really helped with that?
Yeah, 100%. Sunday League and obviously playing non-league on a Saturday, that's one of the ways that have built me up to the way I am as a footballer. I was skinny little 18-year-old coming up against 30-year-old big massive centre-halves who literally on a day were just thinking, right, we've got one here.
Boot him up in the
We'll
air.
just kick him.
Yeah.
But kind of got a buzz out of that, getting kicked, getting back up, thinking, right, let's see next tackle, you'll be the one who's got him down. So I've always had that little aggression in my football, but really like a fair aggression.
Yeah.
On a football field, it don't matter who you're playing. You've just got to make sure that you give it your all, and hopefully it's enough to pick the points up at the weekends.
Did you know that every time you were going to go on the pitch that they would look at you and think, oh, he's quite small, he's quite skinny, let's boot him up in the air and he'll go away?
Yeah.
It
was always going to happen.
Could you almost go, oh no, listen, I'm going to have it out with you?
You used to look down the line and you're like, he's the centre half. He's the other centre half.
Here we go.
That's it. Kicked left, right and centre. As long as I got back up, I weren't really too fussed.
Yeah. Talk to me about your big break. Age of 25, you sign back into the Championship. Talk to me about that, because obviously you've gone from the highs to the lows, back up to this moment. Did you think, right, I've really got to seize this moment, or did you just see it as an opportunity of, right, let's see how it goes?
I signed from Fleetwood, and it was all kind of new, if I'm being honest. I took a full season to get used to it. It was a massive jump, something that I weren't really used to. Physical, mental, there was all sorts of things that you had to readjust to. And I think the first season I was still trying to play it as if I was a non-league player, and it weren't working. So literally that following summer I just knuckled down, doing runs, making sure I came back as fit as I could, and working on my game on my own. And luckily for me, that work that I put in really benefited me the following season, and we managed to get promotion.
Did you see that moment as an opportunity that you couldn't afford to waste? It's like to progress in your career, because I know you got into a bit of trouble when you were younger, like myself. You know, you used to play football and just be substituted to go back and meet your
had to get on to meet the time.
Yeah, it was the same with me when I left the military. I ended up doing something silly and obviously going to prison. You think to yourself, wow, you know, the highs and the lows of your career, which interested me. Did you see it as a last opportunity, like a golden moment that you really had to take hold of and make work for you?
No, I think I had to definitely take it. Like I said, the first season struggled, still had the non-league mentality. It was probably going out a bit too much.
Yeah.
And like I said, that summer when I knuckled down, I think that's when I realised that if I don't put it all in and put the effort in, knuckle down and show them what I'm really made of, then I was going to be back playing non-league.
Back to where you were, yeah.
And having to work again. So it's not something I wanted to do. I wanted to knuckle down and show everyone what I were capable of, and I managed to just keep progressing and progressing.
And that self-belief, do you think it had something to do with proving people wrong, or being sort of like the underdog?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the proving people wrong. I mean, especially with social media nowadays, there's always someone trying to put you down.
Yeah.
But that's the society we live in nowadays. It's about blocking that out, and you prove them wrong on your own. You don't have to say anything. Just make sure that you're doing it on the pitch. Put the balls in the back of the net, get the points as much as you can every week, and that's what keeps them quiet.
It's easier said than done, putting the ball in the back of the net, but you're just consistent at what you do. Do you literally live, die and breed, you know, being a striker? Because I know you're a family man as well. You've just had a daughter.
I think that's the one benefit with the family at home. You can live, breathe, die football up until you get home. As soon as you get home, you need to make sure that you flick that switch and football's not even there.
Yeah.
I get home and I know a few people, they like to get home and just like to have it nice and quiet. No, I like a circus at home. I like it to be loud and everyone's running riot and keeping me on my toes while I'm at home. And that's the one benefit I can definitely say for me, is just getting home and completely forgetting about football.
Definitely, and I still do the same. I don't really mix business with pleasure. You know, when I'm at work, I'm 100% committed to my work. When I'm at home, I'm 100% committed to my family. And I like to be kept busy. Because the moment I'm not, that's when you start twiddling your thumbs. That's when you start getting into trouble. So I can definitely relate to you on that one. And does your family give you the drive to want to be the best version, or to want to be a role model to them? Is that something that pushes you in what you do?
Yeah, definitely. You want to make them as proud as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just obviously seeing the kids and that with smiles on their faces. There's nothing that can beat that. Anyone will tell you, kids, my wife. As soon as I step over them lines to play football, I'm completely someone else.
Yeah.
But I think that's how I have to be, just to make sure that I can, like you said, just cut it out as soon as I get home.
No distractions.
There's nothing, no distractions, and nothing.
Focus.
I've had it with, in the past, people say, "Oh, can you hear all the fans?" Like, probably the odd few. When I'm over and it's all cut out, there's only one focus in that game, and that's us trying to get 3 points. And at the end of the day, in football, that's all that matters.
And I think, having been at that elite standard of a soldier, not a footballer, that's exactly how I tackle it. It's like 100% committed to the job, zero distractions, whether it's negative or positive. I just try and keep it out of that sort of line of sight. At the moment I stepped on that battlefield, it's like, right, I'm in the zone. Nothing else matters. I don't need any distractions. The moment distraction comes in, it sort of puts you off your game, or you operate at 98%. We should be operating at 100% every single time. So I found that to get to that elite level, that's been quite a consistent thing with elite sportsmen, to have that mindset of, when you're on the pitch or when you're in your arena, to not allow any negativity to come in. And also mistakes. A lot of people, the reason why they don't get to that level is because they let mistakes define them, whether it's with family life and work life and in a social circle, and they bring that into their work. How have you learnt from your mistakes?
If it's a mistake you've done, you've got to take ownership. You can't be hiding behind it.
Go, yeah, that's my fault.
And obviously make sure you improve yourself so it doesn't happen again. And then after that, once you've improved yourself, it doesn't happen again. It makes you a better person.
You learn from it, right?
And you learn from like you say, your past mistakes, and you never want it to happen again. You learn from it, move on, and make sure that you come out of it better.
That's what I say to my children. Mistakes are quite important lessons, because if you make them lessons, then you're going to learn from them and grow from them, and become a better version of yourself. Do you implement that with your children? Do your children make mistakes in life?
Yeah, 100%. They're not. At the end of the day, kids are not robots.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to learn the hard way sometimes, and yeah, you've definitely got to let them learn from certain mistakes that they do.
Yeah, they've got to be able to handle themselves, and that's what one thing with you handle yourself. You don't take any prisoners. You're a very sort of hardened player. Have you always had that from your childhood growing up?
Not really. I think it's more that side of it's probably come into me from my football.
Okay.
So it's probably one thing that I have took from football and actually took it into my personal life. But like I said, that's the thing that's benefited me as well.
Yeah.
It's toughened me up and obviously prepared me for things later on in my life, and it's one of the things that I can definitely pass on to my kids as well.